every 3 weeks or so, when you would call around to the Menzies home in Haverbrack Avenue. It would be about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. At about 5:45, you'd have a drink together. And one day, right out of the blue, he said to me, he said, "Well, young Bob," and I was nearly 60 years of age, "tell me the 3 biggest mistakes I ever made." But of course I had never thought of any mistakes that he'd made, and I certainly didn't want to begin then in his own home. I said that I had never given any thought to the question. He said, "Well, nevertheless, think now." And I said, "Look, I can't extemporise." "No," he said, "I want you to think." So I said, "Well, at your insistence," because it was rude, I said, "the first mistake, I think, is that you really are responsible for consolidating Canberra as the national capital. And you've created in Australia an oligarchy that we can never get at. Doesn't matter what they do to the country, we can't do anything to them." He nodded his head. Then I said, "You accepted the Martin report and helped to create altogether, I think that there were 17 universities in Australia. And I said, it should have been obvious that there weren't enough good academics in Australia to run 7, let alone 17. And this was at the period, of course, of all the Vietnam troubles. And he nodded his head. And then he said, "And what's the third mistake?" And I said, "Well, you created the Liberal Party." And he said, "But they're the only 3 things I ever did."